Hi, Coach. We'll get started. Jonathan Fagan.
Steven, do you feel like the losing streak weighs on guys even as they're playing and makes it even more difficult?
Yeah, it does. Like anything, if there's something weighing on you, whether it's a losing streak, family stuff, just any like kind of negative thing going on in your life, regardless of if you're an NBA basketball player or a doctor, a lawyer, or someone in healthcare. If you have like a negative kind of if you're kind of going through a negative experience, no matter what it is, it definitely does weigh on you. Weighs on some of the decisions that you make. It weighs on your ability to perform your best. That at some levels, kind of sometimes I think it makes people feel sorry for themselves, and it's just a hard thing to go through. So yeah, to answer your question, I do believe that the streak weighs on all of us, and we just got to break through it.
Thank you.
Adam Spolin.
Hey, Stephen. Last night, when Christian was on the floor, he was always on the floor with John and Vic. Was because they've had such little time together. Was that intentional by you to try and maximize the minutes that they had together?
Yeah, well, both John and Christian and House are still on minute restrictions. So I have to kind of manage those minutes, as well as when KP didn't play in the second half, that kind of limited me as far as what I could do with the guard rotation. So yeah, to answer your question, since those are our three main guys, right? So making sure that they're on the floor together was a priority, but the minute restriction part of it kind of complicates things.
So would you like to stagger them more as things move further in the season?
Yeah, as we move forward, once we get the minutes restrictions lifted and time kind of goes by, John and Seawood will be out there together, and then Vic and Seawood will be out there together at some point, but then kind of factoring in KP as well. Their connection is going to be important for us moving forward as well. So figuring all that out is going to be a good problem to have moving forward.
Ali Kampajani.
Hey, Stephen, two quick questions for you. First, do you have an update on Kevin Porter Jr.?
No update as of right now. He did not practice today. It's not looking good for tomorrow.
Okay. Second, when you went back and watched the film from last night, were you necessarily happy with the movement, the side-to-side movement? You did have, I think, 20-something assists, but were you happy with how the ball was moving in terms of your positioning and your spacing as well?
It was actually a little bit better than I had thought watching the game live, especially in the first half. We got the ball up the floor quickly. We had those transition baskets where Seawood was running out. We had the one where the lob, then we had the behind the head pass to him. Then we had the transition play to Victor for the layup early in the game. We didn't have quite as many of those in the second half of the game. And getting to that like ball movement, second action type stuff, we didn't do quite as much as we had done in the previous games. And that's just like a habit that we're going to have to continue to hammer home as far as exploring the offense kind of all the way through. If we have an early attack, making sure that we're spaced correctly and have some sort of action or spacing that puts pressure on the defense. And if we don't have it, moving it to the next situation that promotes two to the ball or help by the defense. So to answer your question, I didn't think it was as good as it was the game before, but we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you.
Mark Berman,
Stephen, any other health-related issues going into tomorrow beyond Kevin Porter?
No, I think we had everybody else besides Eric. Eric was here doing his treatment, and he was in on film. But and then Dave is gone and doing his surgery. But beyond that, the only questionable tomorrow would be KP, and then John felt, that was his first game back, and he felt a little bit tight today, and I guess treatment made it feel a little bit better, but he went through practice, so I assume, barring anything crazy, he'll be able to play tomorrow.
So David is in fact having surgery. Do you know what the time frame is on that?
I don't know the time frame on that. I don't.
Thank you.
Adam Spolin,
Just to follow up on that, do you have a plan for the back-to-back with John and Vic?
Yes. We do.
Can you share?
I'm not going to.
And then
They're both playing tomorrow.
they are both playing tomorrow?
Adam Wexler,
Coach, you've had a couple of low volume 3-point shooting games these last 2 games. Obviously, there have been a bunch of others that are high volume. It doesn't seem to really impact the flow of the offense, good or bad, and you've had offensive lows throughout. How do you and the coaching staff kind of assess how things are going on that front?
Yeah, I mean, when you kind of we've had games where we've taken a bunch of them and missed a bunch, and we really are a team that takes what the defense gives us, right? So we had 52 points in the paint last night, mainly because we were able to attack and drive the ball into the paint and get out in transition and take advantage of Christian in the paint. And they weren't necessarily helping quite as much. Most games that we play, they help a bunch off of the shooters and force us to shoot threes. So although our shot profile is exactly pretty much where we want it to be as far as rim attempts, paint attempts, non-paint twos, eliminating as many non-paint twos as possible, and then shooting threes, especially from the corners, our shot profile looks pretty good. As I looked at it a couple of days ago for the whole season, but we really make sure that we are not handcuffing the team to where they are not able to kind of just play their game and play free and take what the defense gives them. And last night they were allowing us to get paint points, and there are other games where they are really, really just sagging in, helping off, and we're making the right play to 3-point shooters, and we're just, as you can see, we're 4th, I believe, in 3-point attempts, but we're last in 3-point percentage.
Kaylee Griffin,
Coach, with practices obviously few and far to come by at this point, how beneficial was it to have one today now that you have some healthy bodies back and 2 new faces? What were your biggest takeaways from getting everyone on the court today?
It was great to have everybody on the court today. Obviously, it's a tough one because we played last night, and then we have a 1 o'clock game tomorrow. So really, and the back-to-back. So we really couldn't tax them very much today. We watched film. We cleaned up some things offensively. We got some shots up within the offense and did a little 3-on-0 breakdown to where guys could make reads and kind of form that marriage between screener and ball handler, regardless of what happens, whether it's a switch or a blitz or they're downing it or whatever. So we did some of that, and then we went over to some OKC because of the early start tomorrow. So as a coach, you would want to actually do more and practice more, but with the 1 o'clock game going forward back to back and then playing last night, there really wasn't an opportunity to do too much, even though I do think we maximized the time that we had.
Jonathan Fagan.
And just following up on what you were just saying to Kaylee's question, of the stuff you described working on today, how much of that in a normal season with sort of a normal schedule would have been done or would have been emphasized a long time ago? Or had you not had the number of injuries and people out, would that have been stuff that you wouldn't be doing in March?
Yeah, we'd probably be doing it, but it wouldn't be new, you know, it would be stuff that we've done before and stuff that they kind of have grasped the concepts. So today we went over, if we're allowed to get over the side pick and roll, these are our reads. And it's like basic stuff. If we're allowed to get over the pick and roll and they go under, this is what we do. And then if they are looking to switch, this is what we're looking for. So like simple stuff, like training camp type stuff. But like you said, training camp was short. We didn't have the group. We've been completely decimated with injuries and other stuff and limited practice time. So yeah, there has been, it's been hard to kind of have days like this where you get something done, but it's more review usually as opposed to, you know, new. And some of it's a little bit new for some of our guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.